This is Wassup Flobo number 87. Yo, yo, yo. It looks like the quarantine is lifted in most places here in Los Angeles, which means I'm going to go back to work soon. And we're going to talk about what that means right now. Before I do, I'm going to say this episode and all the other episodes brought to you part by NoNameNerd.com. Here's the deal. If you want some nerd mask or your very own video game jersey, NoNameNerd.com is where you want to go, man. Make sure you get the gear, get the drip, get the plug. Use my promo code FLOBITO for a discount off your order. That's NoNameNerd.com. Nerds unite all across the land. And it's Wednesday, June 24th, 2020. And I can't believe I made it this far. 2020. 2020 sounds like I made up that year if you go about how I was when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? But we're here, we're live in the flesh. And so I mentioned just a second ago, the quarantine's pretty much lifted all across the Southland. And even though I do the broadcasting, I'm a podcaster, I'm a writer, all that stuff, not to brag, my main source of income is that I am a wedding DJ and master of ceremonies. That's right. If you live in SoCal or in Arizona or Oregon, you can actually book me to go to your events. And I'll sit there and I'll talk or I'll play music or whatever you want. I can do that. So that's my main source of income. And we're seeing some of the weddings trickle in a bit. A lot of my weddings were postponed to at least the fall and or next year, and there's new inquiries coming, so there's good signs. We didn't really know what the extent of this is. I know we worry about the second wave, if there is it, if it's going to be as bad as the first, but everything looks good. Now what that means is that I have not had a wedding gig or a gig in the DJ space for about a couple months, and it's I'm just being honest with everyone out there. I know I wish I can tell you that, hey bro, I'm out there banging and clanging, going to these clubs every weekend and stuff like that. But I think it's been the challenge of trying to keep sharp, skill sharp, keep your mixing on point, keep your setup and breakdown, understanding what I call day of brain farts. What happens is sometimes when you're running to a venue and you may have been doing it a billion times, there's like a certain moment you pick up a chord and you're like, where does this chord go again? Oh yeah. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like your brain is going, look, you try this the setup as best as you can, as percent as you can. Don't forget your suit that you packed. Don't forget that you're going to bring your energy. Don't forget that the couple has these custom songs. All things are done. But for a good second and a half, you're like, right, XLR into the quarter inch. Got it. So that's always part of the process. So it's keeping your skill sharp. And I really wanted to mention this today because it's kind of like athletes. You can only work out in the gym or go for a jog so many times as an athlete, where general fitness and your sports specific fitness tends to go on a different path, right? In professional wrestling, and they call that ring rust. You can be as fit as you want, but until you run the ropes, you're not quite there. Same thing with being a DJ. So yeah, you can practice mixing, you can practice setting up your gear, but it's not quite the same. And so what does that mean for someone like myself? My next gig is about a month away. And I realized that to do that, I'm going to have to simulate a real world environment, which is kind of a fun project. I'm not sure if I should record it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically contact people who have spaces around town, whether like you have an alleyway or a front yard or whatever, and I'm going to treat them as virtual gigs. And that is, I'm going to get my gear on a day at a time predetermined. I'm going to set up. I'm going to make the change into my DJ clothes. Also, I'm not going to wear a full suit in someone's backyard or alleyway. That'd be kind of ridiculous. But at least like change into something presentable, because that is kind of the balance too. For those of you who don't know, in Southern California, it's mostly summer all the time. And these days are warm. And a lot of times you don't have a place to shower, right? So you have to get there, at least for me, I get there early enough to set up my gear at a pace, and so which I don't break that much of a sweat, so I can shift into my DJ clothes. Because there's certainly the specific worst part of my job is setting up gear to the point where you're sweaty and then have to put on a suit. Like it's that I cringe. I can't do it. I cannot do it. So I try to avoid that. So yeah, virtual gigs. I'm going out there. I'm looking to have places around town where I can go. I can set up, do maybe an hour or two mix like live, and then break down, shake a couple hands, That way I can test the quality of the gear during this downtime. I can work on my form in the mix outside of the home environment, and then we're also work on being punctual. So that's going to be my July when it comes to that, and I'm good. I'm glad. I'm looking forward. The couples will benefit the most from that, which is kind of ironic because with the occupancy restrictions and a lot of weddings that are going out, you might not even have a party filled a party filled party, I guess. A dance party. So inside baseball for me, rule of thumb, 75 guests is when I think it's okay to have like a good mix of partying, people who don't like to dance, people who like to bob their heads. 75 means about any given time, there's going to be about 35 people on the dance floor. And if you hit it hard, maybe 60 or so. When you have weddings that are like 50 people or 40 people or 27 is my lowest, it gets extremely difficult. That you almost have to change your vibe. You're not looking for a dance party at that point. You're kind of looking for like an overall good feeling lounge environment. Because if 27 people are at your dance floor, and if say 3 people will decide to not dance or they walk off the dance floor, it can really mess up your psyche. Like, what? You guys don't like this song? You know? So even though that may be a possibility with the occupancy requirements, it's still good to practice in case I'm doing the giant bangers, in case I get to try new songs, I get to try some old songs y'all must have forgot about. So that's going to be my July. That's going to be pretty fun. It's been a while since I did a DJ episode of Wassup Flobo, but that's still a part of my life. If you guys want to hear more about that, I can totally get into the trials and tribulations, good clients, bad clients, good venues, great venues, how to dress, how to respond to clients, the business side of things, how to be an entrepreneur with that. If you guys are interested, you let me know. Wassup Flobo is a space for us to sit and chat and talk about what's going on in our lives. Now, that's it for me. Do me a favor, follow me on Twitter at Flobo Voice, on Instagram at Flobito, and don't forget Flobito.com, the patreon.com/FloboBoys, exclusive contents there. We're talking full-on new Amsterdam interviews. We're talking exclusive videos that only patrons get for their support are on Patreon. And of course, you could buy a t-shirt like this right here, the original that says "Call Me the Mayor," available at Flobito.threadless.com. And until next time, as always, I say peace out.